All right. I want you guys to prepare for this. So I think that this is very interesting. This is specifically interesting to me, and because of just how like nonchalant all of this really came about. So what we're going to be listening to is we're going to be listening to just about 9 minutes of a meeting that was on the record, and the meeting occurred in Henry County. Nearly all local governments, towns, cities, and counties are either currently in the budget process for next year, or they're getting ready to start the budget process for next year. Now, I want to say this about Henry County. Henry County has so much government, like I almost can't keep up with it. I need someone down there that can really help me, because Henry County does government like 10 times more than the city of Muncie does. Anderson combined, they are meeting all of the time. And I honestly, and they've got so much going on, I would love to be able to stay up to date with what's happening. The problem is, if I spend all my time on Henry County, like I would have to let everything else go because of the amount of time that they spend in meetings. The commissioners, the council, they routinely have open work sessions where they are in meetings for 3 or 4 hours a day, just routinely, not to mention the fact that they are currently in their budget process. And the budget process are long swaths of meeting where they're open, they're on the record. Well, today, during one of these meeting sessions, and it was a short meeting session, quite honestly, they were on a meeting session, and their council, like Delaware County Council, is made up of a 7-person council. Okay. And this council is made up of, like Delaware County and a lot of other counties around here, it's made up of all Republicans. All 7 of the counselors are Republicans. During this session, the District 54 state representative was in the audience. That's Cory Criswell. For those of you that are unfamiliar with who that is, Cory Criswell is the representative for District 54. District 54 makes up Henry County, Rush County, part of Hamilton County. I don't know if it goes into a little bit of Madison County or not. I'm not really sure, but it's that kind of area. Okay. It's a very rural area. And Criswell is the newly minted person in that seat. It has been Tom Saunders for like 100 years. Tom Saunders has been the man down there, but Tom Saunders retired, and 2 years ago they had like 10 people running for the seat. Cory Criswell was like the boy wonder who they wanted to be in the spot, and so that's who they got. And it was Criswell who was at this meeting, and during this meeting, they're talking about giving raises to the sheriff's department. They're talking about all of this stuff they're wanting to do and they're needing to do. And they, it's real interesting what exactly they were talking about doing. I was shocked that they felt like they're in a position where they could even do what the hell they're trying to do. It was shocking to me that they were in this position, because I know like Delaware County and most places are saying like, we can't do this, we've got to cut. You know, it was just really nuts to me that the way that they are presenting themselves. And then out of the blue, the council president, I believe currently, is Susan Hoon, who is running for commissioner, and she will be the commissioner in January. And that's Susan Hoon. She's a complete nut job. It's crazy. She is what, it's just, I'm not a big fan of her, whatever. There are 2 council members that are home, and they are live Zooming in, Betsy Mills and Kenan Gray. Now, the man that we see here, looking sideways here in the black shirt, he's going to get up to the podium and speak. This is Cory Criswell. I'm going to just let them take it away and let you hear what you hear. This is on the record in a county meeting. This is a state representative, and I want you to hear what this man has to say. This is breaking news, and it's pretty big news all around. So I want you guys to hear what happens here, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about it. I want you guys to hear what Susan says. Here we go.
Either to one of the other ordinances.
Thank you, Kenan. I would like to see, personally, like to see one of these techniques used, either the 100% to improve overall retention, or this in-county pay. I think that both make us more competitive. I'd like to see one of them go through. Is it inappropriate to hear from Cory at this time, since there's a motion on the floor? Okay, you're welcome.
Is Mike?
I should know how to do that by now. Cory Criswell, state representative, represent each and one of you in the room and via Zoom. And I appreciate what you guys do. And I definitely appreciate what these guys do in the back corner. And they for sure need a raise, and as well as every other county employee here. Kenan kind of mentioned it, and that was one I figured would get brought up, is I would say more than likely our next governor, Senator Braun, has produced a property tax plan. And I will say first and foremost, that plan.
So the very first thing he says here is, assuming he doesn't have a crystal ball, I don't know how he knows that. We've got 70 some days left. We've got 3 debates. We've got at least 2 more town halls with Libertarian candidate Donald Rainwater. There's a good possibility, maybe still yet, that Braun might come on for an interview. I highly doubt it at this point. I've been very vocal about where I stand. I mean, I wouldn't have a problem having Braun on so he could talk, but my endorsement is for Rainwater all the way. I've been very clear about that from pretty early on. So it's interesting to me that he just assumes that our next governor is going to be, Braun. But I want you to listen to what he says here, okay? This is very, very important. No, this is not a secret meeting. This is on the record. This is a meeting that's scheduled on the record, okay? I'm going to back this up just one second, and I want you guys, okay, so to 32. All right, here we go. Listen.
I would say more than likely our next governor, Senator Braun, has produced a property tax plan. And I will say first and foremost, that plan will not get passed as is. I can assure you that. But
okay. So right there. First of all, you guys need to go to Henry County, Indiana. Henry County, Indiana government on YouTube and watch this video. You might not be able to see it fully on ours. He's like looking around the room and like laughing and kind of smiling as he's saying this. So what we just heard him say there is quite we're not done. What he says there is, our next governor is going to be Mike Braun, and I can tell you that he has a property tax plan, and I can almost assuredly tell you that the plan is not going to pass. Okay, I want you to tell. And now, listen to me. Listen to me. Cory Criswell has been in the House of Representatives for 2 years. He's 2 years. He's a freshman representative. He currently is running for re-election. This man is a nobody. All right. He's not leadership. He does not have a seat at the big table. He has no authority or no ability to be saying what he's saying. The only reason, the only way that he is allowed or able to say what he is saying is if the leadership of the Republican Party in the state of Indiana, our super duper pooper majority of Republicans under Todd Houston and Senator Bray are telling their people, we ain't playing ball with the Braun plan. This is not something that Cory Criswell is coming up with and just openly saying. They would hang him by his feet upside down and lead him out if he was speaking just off the cuff. The fact that he is saying this, you can be assured that this is where I'm telling you the fact check. The fact check is in the fact that he feels that he can say this. They are told and they understand, and Cory Criswell is not someone that would just speak. He's scared to death of his own shadow. He's not going to speak out of pocket. He is not going to do anything that gets him in trouble with the higher ups. Listen, he is a J.D. Prescott hanger on. He hangs on. He's real tight with Prescott. Him and Prescott are like two peas in a pod, and he's not going to do anything outside of what Prescott's going to do. They are being told by the administration, by the HRCC, that we're not playing ball with the Braun plan. We're not done. Continue listening to this. I want you to hear what he says again. This is pretty crazy stuff. Keep in mind, he's speaking about the top seat of their party. He's talking about the man that they're saying is going to be governor, and they feel he feels he has the authority to say we aren't going to pass his plan. Okay, listen.
A property tax plan. And I will say first and foremost, that plan will not get passed as is. I can assure you that. But there will be I wanted to stand here today in front of you. There will be a property tax bill passed in 2025. And Tom's seen it for 26 years, right over here in my back. And I've seen it for 2. When a property tax, maybe I'll hold it and it might be better. When a property tax bill's passed, like I was saying, when a property bill is passed at the State House, it usually is on the backs of you folks sitting in front of me. There's some people there. He was one of the most knowledgeable ones of the 150 people in the General Assembly when it came to local government issues, and knew how it worked. And he can probably verify everything I'm about to say, that it's usually on the backs of you. And there is a handful of us that fight for local governments and want you to be well financed. You guys be able to spend money how you want to spend it. So the 97%, as I believe, is on the budget. I think it's well deserved for all county employees. But I just wanted to kind of verify what Kenan said. There will be a bill passed this session, and I just don't know how much you guys decide to do in 3, 5, 6 years, what that's going to look like in a Senator Braun's being at the helm there at the State House. Because as you guys have,
you pick up on what he's saying. You pick up on his mannerisms. You pick up on what he's saying. I just don't know what to tell you how it's going to be with Senator Braun being at the helm. Like it's almost get the feeling like they're not happy about it. You get it, you understand, or you getting it. Why is he talking like this? Why is a man that has spent exactly a total of 5 months of his entire life in government, 2 years, like 2.5, 3 months, 1 year, and 2.5, 3 months the next year it's a state house. He's got no authority to be talking like he's talking. He's only talking like this because this is their walking and talking papers, folks. This is what they're being told to say. This is what they're going to do. Listen, a plan's going to be passed because and we're getting ready here. He's going to say it here. He's going to say this is going to be one of his main priorities, and it's going to be passed. But he's getting ready to say, we just don't know. It's going to be like watered down. So they're going to pass something, and it's going to be a shit all plan, and it's not going to help us, and it's not going to be anything like anyone told. Rob Kendall sometime next year is going to be sitting there going, what happened? Wait a minute. Well, I got a seat at the table. I want more of a deal like this. I want more of a deal. And Mike Beckwith, good guy, good buddy, is going to come back and be like, Robbie, I don't know what happened. We were told this was going to be good. And they're going to say, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. Now, run on back and play along, little kids. That's what's going to happen. And, last night I was saying, Rob kept saying yesterday, what are you so concerned with being right? You want to be right so bad that you don't win? And I kept saying, what's the flip side of that? Being wrong and getting in the door? Wait a minute. That's the definition of selling out. So do you want to not sell out and not be a bitch? Or do you want to sell out and sell your soul for a seat at the table? No. I'll stand on. I'll go down with the ship for principle every day. We've got a super duper pooper majority right now that's not doing a damn thing. And they're letting us know, hey, at this point, the conspiracy theories that Brandon and I were talking about the other day, it's not even as convoluted as what we were thinking. It's basically, it don't matter who come in. We're going to do what we want to do. We're the super duper majority. It's going to be the way we want it. We're going to run the show. JD, you go do what we tell you to do. JD's not coming up with big, massive plans. That plan that JD came up with was so nuts. So I don't know if Beckwith helped him or not. He still won't answer that. No matter how many times I ask him, no matter where I ask him, he will not answer. He won't just say yes or no. And when you won't say no to something, obviously there's a little bit of yes in there. So that's kind of interesting. Like, why wouldn't you, if I said like, hey, did you murder someone last night? The answer is, it's kind of like what they ask Sproles down in Henry County. Are you racist? And he's like, what? I can't even believe you'd ask me a question like that. Okay, that's exactly what's happening here, folks. They're gonna take in Braun. That's who they're assuming what's going to happen, and they're going to say, okay, you sit there. You're the helm. You're helming this ship. We're the worker bees. We're going to do what we need to do, and it's going to be Holcomb 2.0 or negative 2.0 or going backwards or whatever. It might as well just be Holcomb for another 4 years. All right, let's continue on. It gets a little bit crazier if you can imagine.
It's been publicized and people talked about what his plan does, and it's shifting one amount of money to the other. That's kind of what it's doing. Now, like I said, his
Let's
plan
go.
isn't going to get passed as
Let's go back.
is. I can
Listen.
already State House, because as you guys have seen, it's been publicized and people talked about what his plan does, and it's shifting one amount of money to the other. That's kind of what it's doing. Now, like I said, his plan isn't going to get passed as is. I can already tell you that, but there will be something passed. And just my suggestion to you all, stay connected, get with AIM, get with whoever your guys' lobbyist at the State House. Make sure you're engaged in this process. Text me anytime, please, what you guys are hearing in your email chains and so on and so forth, what's going on, and keep me up to date. It helps for sure, and it gets me connected to who I need to go see right off the bat. So I just wanted to say, Kenan brought up the property tax. It is going to be something, and I wanted to be here today in front of you and say there will be something passed. I would be absolutely shocked if nothing was passed. I would say it'll probably be one of his top priorities from the governor. And I know he can't technically do anything on his own, but they have a lot of say so. And like I said, these gentlemen and everybody that works in the county need to be well paid. And I just kind of wanted to say that about the property tax standpoint. And I'm open if you guys have anything to me.
Gut instinct, best case scenario, worst case scenario, just hypothetically with what you're hearing right now.
Okay, so what's happening here now is a Henry County councilor is just asking him gut instinct, which Criswell doesn't have one of those, but gut instinct, best case scenario, what do you think is going to happen? He's not thinking about what's going to happen. He is right now going circling back in his mind when asked this question, what am I supposed to say next? It's almost like fake AI. It's like it's not AI, someone programmed it, but it's acting like it's automated and he's spitting out his own thoughts. It's not. He's being programmed what to say. And now he's using that time. He repeated back the question, so it was long enough for him to come up with his answer. Listen to what his answer is to what his gut instinct is on what's going to happen. Now, after he just got done saying something's going to get passed, it's going to be something. It's not going to be Braun's plan I can tell you, it is not going to be Braun's plan. It's going to be something. But, he doesn't have the authority. They don't have the authority to do much. I mean, they got power. They can talk and they can do some things. But, okay, now listen to his gut instinct.
I would say worst case is what was proposed. Best case would.
Worst case is what was proposed. This man is talking about the front runner of their party, the leader of the Republican Party of the state of Indiana. I don't care about Richard Head or whoever the party chair is right now. The governor candidate, their presumptive winner, who they just know is going to be the winner, that's how he talks about the man that's going to be the governor of Indiana in his mind. The worst case scenario is the Braun plan. Are you kidding me? This is letting us know there is a major issue between the Republican Party. There is some kind of major disconnect between the Republican Party, the Republican leadership, HRCC, Todd Houston, and all that bunch, and what's going on with the Braun Beckwith team. We've already heard that Braun did not contact Houston and Bray and let them know what his plan was ahead of time when he went in to talk to WIBC. I'll be honest, I bet they weren't happy that he went in and talked to Rob. They probably weren't happy about that. Matter of fact, what did Rob say yesterday or today? Today, when he had the governor on today, I bet you've been getting some riz for having me, some shit for, having me on, or for, for partnering up, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, and Braun didn't say, no, I haven't. He said, it's fine. It don't bother. So he's getting heat for allowing, my friend Rob to have a seat at the table. And I'm just saying, Cory Criswell's not a bad guy. Cory Criswell's a good guy. I don't think he's made for politics. I've watched him enough. His family's a good family, good wife, good husband, good kids. He's like a basketball coach. Now it's starting to make sense. I think his day job is he works at the basketball museum there in Henry County. But he's not some man that's going to go out on a limb and talk out of school unless he's told. He is a careful person. Okay, let's continue to listen to this.
There's going to be a cut of some sort, but I wouldn't say, I'm not going to say a percentage wise, but.
Okay. Dude, this is big shit. Every newspaper in the state of Indiana should be running his words. Every political commentator in the state of Indiana should be. This is groundbreaking news here. I can't wait until we're done talking and this episode's over so I can cut the craziness out of the middle so this isn't such a haphazard. It's only going to be so haphazard to you people that were here. It's not going to be crazy to people on the other side. I'll have to cut this out too. But I hope, matter of fact, we'll do this. I hope that everybody everywhere is running this story. They need to be, because this is big news, folks. It's screw ups like this which could change the dial. If you're telling us that the Republican Party does not believe in their front runner, that should make enough Republicans say, whoa, me either. I'm voting for Donald Rainwater.
A minimal is best case. And as it's proposed right now is not minimal.
Traditionally, what we've
Listen.
Best case would be.
Listen, again, he's going to say worst case, best case. Listen to what those are again.
Helps for sure. And it gets me connected to who I need to go see right off the bat. So I just wanted to say, Kenan brought up the property tax. It is going to be something. And I wanted to be here today in front of you and say there will be something passed. I would be absolutely shocked if nothing was passed. I would say it'll probably be one of his top priorities from the governor. And I know he can't technically do anything on his own, but they have a lot of say so. And like I said, these gentlemen and everybody that works in the county need to be well paid. And I just kind of wanted to say that about the property tax standpoint. And I'm open if you guys have anything to me.
Gut instinct, best case scenario, worst case scenario, just hypothetically with what you're hearing right now.
I would say worst case is what was proposed. Best
Worst case is what was proposed by Braun.
Case would be there's going to be a cut of some sort, but
Best case is there's going to be a cut of some sort. Now listen to what he says next.
I wouldn't say.
I don't want to say percentages. Listen to what he says next.
I'm not going to say a percentage wise, but a minimal.
A minimal. Now listen to what he follows up with.
His best case.
A minimal's best case. Listen.
And as it's proposed right now is not minimal.
as it's proposed right now is not minimal. And he's already told us what it's proposed right now is not going to float.
Additionally, what we've seen at the State House is they take action to reduce taxes, do better for the taxpayer, and then provide local governments with whatever opportunity they can for us to be the bad guy. And we've been seeing that since late 2000s and I'm not been doing this a long time, but that's my research. Maybe it's been happening before that. I don't know. Do you suspect that cutting revenues to local governments, they know that that's going to have an impact to every local government in the state? They're going to have to provide some ability for local government to be able to make up for any shortfall.
Like,
If they didn't, we would have been bankrupt by now, and we would be in the future if we didn't have a way to make up the difference. So sorry I interrupted your answer.
oh, you're good. I know, I agree that from my short time being there, that's kind of their easy way out is to, let's do something there. And then you guys have to do something what you did a couple weeks ago when I was here. So no, for sure. Then definitely I hear your concern, and there's people there that voice your concern, but we also have other mega counties that they don't really care what rural Indiana has to say.
Right. It's double-edged sword, right? They give us the ability to seal our own fate. And the good news is that provides more local control. So like I said, double-edged sword.
I think
I
it
appreciate the information.
it shows again this shift from the state to shift taxes from property owners to workers. And so I think, like Shannon's saying, if we do see property tax revenue decrease, that's going to represent the state's position that taxes should be paid more by workers, and then might come out for workers and increased
What?
income taxes is
I can't believe
probably
she'd say that on the record
trend
either.
that many of us have seen. If property taxes are lowered, then income taxes will probably go up, which is no fun, but understood. Yeah.
So it's back to our option the state gives us is raise local taxes, local income taxes, which we did. It's a never ending vicious cycle. The state, I don't know if it's a matter of wanting to look good, we cut your taxes, but the net result is for us to function, the only option the state gives us is to raise locally. And so the net is there is not a total net reduction in anyone's taxes. In fact, our local is going to pay a little bit more. And the state's going to go on. Your colleagues are going to say, we cut your taxes. The governor is going to say, we cut your taxes. But people want services. I mean, they want fire and law enforcement and 911 and EMS, and the options the state gives us is local income taxes, as you alluded to a few weeks ago.
For those of us who own houses and are employed, it may be relatively equal over time. And then for people who are done with the working period of their life and they're retired, this is a benefit to them because they're less likely to lose their home. For people who don't own homes and are working, then they're taking on more of the burden. But it is the same amount of, unless the things we actually pay for are reduced, it's just how we get tax money together over time. So I appreciate what you're saying. Yeah.
No problem. I just wanted to be here to kind of be face to face in
Right.
front of you guys. And I support the pay raise. I think it's great for our employees in the county. And then just wanted to say it to you guys face to face. And like I said, this next session, make sure we're engaged and have my phone number, text, call, whatever you need to do.
Susan?
Thank you, Cory.
No problem.
Okay. So what is our thought here? What is our thought here? Yeah, Don. Oh my gosh, the government might need to reduce spending. I am floored that this has happened. I cannot believe. Just make sure that we're not getting this confused, folks. I personally know Cory Criswell. This is not someone that I see on a computer screen and he's someone out of touch that I'm just guessing. I heard him there talking for the first time. I personally know him, and I am telling you, he is not saying things on a whim. He's not just I'm not saying like he's very cautious and he's very whatever. I'm not saying that. I'm saying he's kind of like a computer or like a robot. He is only going to tell you what has been input into him. And if he is running around he said this in the middle of a day in the commissioner's courtroom in Henry County on the record. Now, let me tell you the other part of this. There's still more to come. After this meeting ended, all right, I didn't know about this meeting. I was contacted and said, "Oh my God, you got to listen to what was said on the record by by Cory." They said by State Representative Cory. I'm about calling him Cory Prescott. Cory Criswell. Cannot believe that he said this, and I was like, okay. And this person went on. I spoke to a couple different people. I've heard from a little birdie. And this is a little birdie that I would absolutely take their word to the bank. I would build a house with their word, and I have no problem stating this out there. They were saying that after the meeting, I guess there was some milling around and talking around like you do kind of things. And Cory Criswell has made it perfectly clear that he is attempting to fight the property tax reform. He doesn't think it should happen. What? You can hear it right here. Rainwater said Braun had less than 50% of the vote in the primary. He was not the GOP's preferred candidate. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, I know that we have people here that like Beckwith and are Beckwith supporters and are cheering it on. Okay? Beckwith's a young man. One of these days, well, I'm going to tell you, Beckwith is hurting my opinion of him. Beckwith is hurting my opinion of him because of some of the establishment people. Listen, it's not Beckwith's fault. It's not Beckwith's fault. Beckwith, I believe, stands on the principles that he speaks of. I believe him in that. But what happens is when someone is like that, like John Jacob or Nisley, what happens is the establishment comes around and starts coming up to them and trying to pull them down, trying to say, join us, be one of us, come to the dark side, do what we tell you to do. And if they can't or if they won't do that, then they say, okay, we're going to take you out, just like they did to John Jacob, just like they did to Kurt Nisley. We see it 1,000 times over and over and over and over. And that's why we were trying to wonder what was going on early on with JD when he was putting forth this other plan, because we were like, well, wait a minute. If he's stepping out on the party, they're going to cut his legs off. He's done. Well, now we know. Now I can just, it's like clockwork. I can put all the pieces together where they go. He's just taking orders. When he went on, when Prescott went on Kendall's show 10 days after Braun did and pushed a plan B plan, I was saying then, why are people not freaking out about this? And I was asking, did Beckwith work on this? Is Beckwith trying to run around Braun? Like, that was a possibility. No, that's not what's happening here. The establishment is trying to divide and conquer. Braun already is not sure of Beckwith, so he's going to keep him at arm's distance. The establishment's going to try to keep them apart and going to try to keep Beckwith down. One of these, Beckwith's a young man. If and when he wants to run for governor one day, I'll support him in that. But I cannot and I will not back and support a party. I will not support and back candidates because the second banana is running the show. Listen, for all of you that have been talking about Don's lieutenant governor, listen, I loved William Henry. I loved his lieutenant governor pick in 2020. I've not talked Don. I don't know why that isn't the same. I don't know what's happening there, and I'm not knocking Don. I don't know Tanya. Maybe Tanya's probably a wonderful woman, a wonderful person. She probably has great ideas. I don't think that she did that strongly in the debate. We've all spoke out about that and been very open and upfront about that. But you know what? I don't stress myself out with that because I'm not voting for Tanya Hudson governor. I'm voting for Donald Rainwater governor. Donald Rainwater it's like, what is it? A high tide raises all ships or whatever. Donald Rainwater can bring Tanya up. Okay. He will bring Tanya up. He will get her to a level where she'll do all right. And I got no problem with that. Right there's the answer. Will Henry's running for Congress in Northern Indiana. Well, that's what the problem is. That's the issue. And he's a wonderful individual, and he's got my support. I love him. And I don't have I'm fine with the Rainwater Hudson ticket because I know that any of the issues that I might have had in the debate with Hudson, Rainwater will bring her up. Beckwith is not going to rise Braun up. Braun's going to keep Beckwith at a distance. The establishment's already working them in. And the problem is if Beckwith can't distance himself from that establishment, that will start when, you lay with dogs, you get fleas. That stench will start to rub off on him, and it will start to color my opinion of him if he's not careful. And the way that he started dodging questions, I got issues with that. Okay. It is what it is. So that's the breaking news. In my opinion, this is something that, like, people will sleep through this. It's just crazy Bilbrey talking. This is big because it's letting you see that they are already chipping away. And I was so happy to hear Abdul Hakim Shabazz today cock back and when Jim Merritt and Kendall were talking, and they kept talking about how, he's going to win, Braun's going to win. And Abdul Hakim Shabazz said, hey, this is Indiana. There are 70-some days left. There are 3 debates still. No, you cannot say there's nothing that's for sure. There's nothing guaranteed. There's nothing. There is nothing guaranteed. So I'm removing the stress of the people saying, well, what about Tanya Hudson? Tanya Hudson's not running the ship. Rainwater is. And I trust Rainwater. But if I say that about Rainwater, then I have to apply that same method to Braun and to Jennifer McCormick. Okay, I can't look at Jennifer McCormick and say like, well, Terry Gooden, blah blah blah. If I'm saying I'm supporting Rainwater and voting for Rainwater because he's the leader, he's in the leadership position, and I know that he will raise her up. But furthermore, he's the leader, and I'm not going to stress the deal with her. Then I have to say the same thing about Jennifer McCormick. I'm not going to stress myself with her second choice, her second banana. And I have to say my same thing with Braun. I cannot concern myself with his second pick. This is not going, I'm not Rob Kendall. I'm not going to make a governor's pick based on who the lieutenant governor candidate is. I cannot do that. Cannot do that. I will not do that. And so Rainwater is my pick. He will be my pick. He will always be my pick while he's doing this, and until I don't know, does something crazy or whatever. I mean, I guess like Abdul said, there's still 70 some days left, but I just don't see that happening. We need to spread the word. This is very important, folks. If you know people, listen, if you have people that are questioning on what side of the fence they're riding on this, what Cory Criswell said was very important. Listen to Don. You can tell he's going to steer the ship because why? He was a Navy veteran. We see him right there. And he knows how to steer the ship. All right, folks, we are going to roll out of here. You guys have a very, very good rest of your weekend. Real quick, before we do leave, I do need to say this. I don't have a problem with Cory Criswell in the least bit. I think Cory's a good guy. I'm just saying he's not going out on a limb and he's not telling people things just in make-believe land. He's saying these things because he's hearing them from the other people around him. I don't have a problem with Cory Criswell. I like Cory Criswell as a human, as a person. And he's not maybe my favorite representative because of some of the votes he's done and some of the back and forth we've had, but I'm kind of a hard guy to please. You know what I mean? I'm an asshole. That's kind of my style. It is what it is. But other than that, I'm just saying he's truthful. Cory is a trustworthy, truthful person. And I think that what he was saying tonight, citizens and officials need to know. And if you're sitting on the fence between Rainwater and Braun, get out of there. Get off the fence. That's got to hurt. Rainwater's your man. Braun, we're hearing the Republicans aren't even happy with Braun, man. So you guys, love each and every one of you. Thank you for being here. Share the show with everyone you know. Take care of yourselves. God bless you guys.